106.7 WJFK HD2. My name is Othello Bouchera. My co-host Chris Lingbach is in here, and we are the C&O Show. Now, on the line, we have a guy I am very excited to talk to. His record in the UFC is 5-1. His overall record is 11-1, and he'll be fighting Ryan Bader tomorrow at UFC 126. Jonny Bones Jones joins the show. John, what's up, man?
Not much. How you guys doing?
Doing well. So you ready for your big fight tomorrow?
Absolutely.
Tell us about the camp. I mean, you obviously train out of Greg Jackson's gym in New Mexico. What type of things were you fine-tuning in order to get ready for tomorrow?
Just my whole game. It's a mixed martial arts bout, so I've just been doing a little bit of everything. I feel great. I feel like I'm, in great shape. Cardio's great. My reaction times, tactics are together, and just can't wait to go out there and do what I do.
Now, you're from New York. You began your training there at Bomb Squad. I've talked to Ryan Ciotoli before. He's a really good dude. Was it tough for you to leave home and make the decision to go all the way to New Mexico to sort of, step your game up? And, what do you think it is that makes Jackson's gym the place to be?
No, it wasn't tough at all. I knew I had to do necessary things to give myself the best opportunity to make it in the sport, and that was moving to Greg Jackson's. Greg Jackson, in my opinion, is the best martial arts family in the world. It's great. The guys treat me with a lot of respect there. And, since I've joined the program, I've had all first-round finishes, and I couldn't imagine training at a different school.
Now, you're a fighter who's sort of known for his, unorthodox fighting style and creative improvised moves. I have to get your take on Anthony Pettis and his cage kick at WEC 53. Were you watching that live, and what did you think?
Live, and when I saw that, I jumped out of my chair. My girlfriend was actually in the other room, and she was wondering why I was screaming. And I said, "Baby, you got to watch this." It was, we had a DVR, and it was a special moment for our sport. I'm proud of him, and I think he's setting the tone for a lot of future cool tactics in the future.
Is that something that you think you're going to keep in your arsenal for future fights?
No, that's his thing, and not for me.
Cool. Well, again, you can watch Jon fight tomorrow night at UFC 126 on pay-per-view. Trust me, you won't want to miss that. One depressing thing that I just realized is that you're 23 years old. That hits very close to home because both Chris and I, who does the show with me, are 23. You were Fight Magazine's Breakout Fighter of the Year, Sherdog's Fighter of the Year. What is this quick jump to success been like for you, and how have you adapted to becoming so famous so quickly?
It's a blessing. I'm religious, and I think that God gives me a lot of the success that I work for. I work for it, and God helps me out, puts me in the right situations, and brings in the right people in my life. So it feels great, and that's what I was expecting when I started. To make it towards the top, and I work really hard, and I feel as if I deserve it, and hopefully I can continue. Hopefully it can continue to happen.
John, we know you're not a big smack talker, but you're talking to Washington, D.C. right now. If they're looking for a reason to go out and spend the extra money, going out to a bar in Washington, D.C., spend that cover money to go out and watch the fights, tell us one reason why you're going to put Ryan Bader in his place.
I don't think it's a matter of putting anyone in their place. He's a great fighter, and he's never lost before, and I'm just excited for it. Anytime you can conquer someone who's never lost before, it's a huge feat. So,
but what's one thing from this fight that's going to set yourself apart from the other fights? The reason why they should spend the money to go out and watch this fight. Why do they need to see this fight?
Why they need to see this fight? I just think it's going to be a great fight. You have two young athletes who are college wrestlers who, both knock a lot of people out and things like that. And just going to be interesting to see two guys who seem close to unbeatable facing each other. Someone's old has to go.
The immovable object versus the unstoppable force. I got it.
It's going to be great. I read somewhere that you credited being in a committed relationship to keeping you focused and concentrated on the task at hand. Can you expand on that a little bit and tell us how it's helped you in your career?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a girlfriend who will be my wife soon, and she just really helps me stay focused and in the house. I'm not going out eating unhealthy foods and chasing women and things like that. I have kids, and I feel like an adult already when it comes to just my professional life, my life at home. and it helps me out a lot. You know, she really helps me stay grounded and focused on our family's survival.
What do you think your biggest advantage as a fighter is? I mean, you've got the longest reach in the UFC. You're one of the most dynamic fighters I've seen. You train really hard. What do you think it is?
I think my biggest advantage is that I have Jesus Christ in my life, and also that that I have a family that I have to provide for. You know, where a lot of people fight for money and for fame and things like that. You know, I fight because you know, I have a family to provide for. You know, I ended up leaving school a little early, and I only have an associate's degree, and it's hard to make it in this economy nowadays.
Right.
I want my family to want to secure a really safe future for my daughters and have college funds set aside and things like that. You know, I just really can't afford to fail in this sport, and I'm not going to allow myself to.
Let me ask you about that then. If you know that this sport only has a certain amount of certain timeline for you, say you can fight only until you're about 40, 41, 42, if you're lucky. And you do want to provide a great life for your family and your kids and your grandchildren. What are you thinking long terms to continue that money train going?
Yeah, well, right now, you know, I take very little damage. I only fight about twice a year. Mm-hmm. I take a time off in between fights. But as far as the long-term goals, you know, right now, some of my big goals are to, you know, make enough money early where I won't have to worry about fighting when I'm in my 40s. You know, I'm 23 now, and I'd like to be done by the time I'm 30. Maybe 33, somewhere around that, maybe a 10-year career.
Nice.
So right now, I'm really smart with finances and have a really smart team behind me, people who won't allow me to do silly 23-year-old things. You know,
things that we're doing.
Well, you don't want to go buy a huge car and all that type of stuff. I try to be really smart with investing. And, you know, like I said, I'm more concerned with my family's future than having a shiny watch or a nice car. So
last question, I know you got to go. I have to assume you're a football fan. I know you played in high school. Brother was just drafted by the Ravens last year, and I think your other brother played for Syracuse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who is your Super Bowl pick and why? I got to know.
Well, I guess I'll pick the Jets, the Packers. The Packers. Well, you know, my little brother plays for Syracuse. I'll let him answer that question.
Oh, nice. Good call, John.
We got your brother on the line?
Hey, I'm going with the Packers, guys.
Why you got the Packers?
You know, all my friends are Pitt fans, and you know, Pitt they beat the Ravens. You know, that's my other brother's team, so I want to go with the rival team.
Yeah. What was your brother like as a football player back in high school?
As a football player, I mean, I played at the same team with him in Syracuse. This is Chandler. This isn't John anymore.
I know. I'm saying, what was your brother like when he played ball with you?
You know, there's nothing like being on the defensive line with your brother and just looking down at him. You know, there'll be plays where I'll just look to the side of him, look over to the side, and we make texts and adjustments. So I just give him that head nod. Just, you know, having that brother-to-brother relationship is nothing like it.
He played D-line with you?
Yeah, we played.
He looks more like a receiver to me.
Oh, I look like a receiver?
No, your brother, Jon Jones. He looks like a receiver. You know, he's got that height, got that speed.
And John played defensive tackle, believe it or not.
Huh,
you know, he was down there. This guy was an aggressive guy, you know, and the coaches had no choice but to put him there, you know. He used to make plays in the backfield from play to play, and him and my brother was just so competitive on that defensive line.
So cut him up season means that much more to him now. Let me ask you this. Since you're at Syracuse and you're up there in the Carrier Dome, I know that Syracuse doesn't get the light shine on it that it used to in the past. Go ahead, since we got you on the phone right now, go ahead and state your case for the NFL, or are you just going to jump straight into MMA like your brother John?
Hey, listen. I watch MMA. You know, I really enjoy it. But you know, I'm just gonna leave that to my brother John. You know, I support him, I get behind him 100%. And you know, Syracuse haven't got a lot of shine on it. But we went 8-5 this year. We won the Pinstripe Bowl, and you know, I'm just shout out to Coach Doug Murray. He's doing a great job with us.
What's it like, you know, being in that audience, watching your brother fight like that? I mean, that's a guy you grew up with. You got to get a little worried sometimes. I mean, what's it like, you know, being there, watching him go toe-to-toe with another guy?
You know what? Whenever I get asked that question, you know, I say I get more nervous for his fights than I do for my own football games. You know, You know, it's real. You know, this isn't the WWE. This isn't stage. This is a real fight. Guys got nothing but gloves and shorts on. You know, so it's huge for me. You know, I get my hands get clammy, and all that nervousness goes away once John leads his first strike. How do we get in touch with you? You on Twitter or anything like that? I'm on Twitter. You can follow me at SanJones99. Cool, man. Can we say bye to your brother? Oh, yeah, here he is, right here. My little brother is a clown.
That was awesome, man. That was awesome. I love the handoff.
All right, that sounds good, man.
Thanks, man.
Hey, no problem, man. I had a great time.
All right, good luck, bud.
Tonight, Mike.
Thanks a lot, guys.